Hi, I'm CJ. I hope my YouTube channel, 5 Minute Christianity, is truly a blessing to you. Just want to call attention to one little thing. At the beginning of each video, I try to include the name of the sermon from which it came, so that you can go back later and watch the entire sermon when you have time. That's all. Thanks.
The history of Israel, frankly, is an object lesson about the dangers of not teaching your children, of not having the law of God dominate your children, of not teaching them, of not talking about the law of God when you sit down, when you walk, when you lie down, when you rise up, making it what controls your behavior, what controls your thinking, and your coming and going. Obviously, Israel failed to do that, even though they were commanded in Deuteronomy 6. If you come over to, for example, one generation later, just one generation, to Judges chapter 2, verse 7, the people served the Lord all the days of Joshua, and all the days of the elders who survived Joshua, who had seen all the great work of the Lord which he had done for Israel. Joshua, of course, led them into the land. Verse 10, all that generation also were gathered to their fathers, and there arose another generation after them who did not know the Lord, nor yet the work which he had done for Israel. That generation failed to do what they were told to do. Teach the law of God to their children, so that they would love the Lord their God with all their heart, with all their soul, and with all their might. That whole generation failed in their parenting. Verse 11, here's the next generation. Then the sons of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord and served the Baals. Literally worshipped the false lords. And they forsook the Lord, the God of their fathers, who had brought them out of the land of Egypt, and they followed other gods from among the gods of the peoples who were around them, and bowed themselves down to them, and thus they provoked the Lord to anger. So they forsook the Lord and served Baal and Ashtaroth. One generation, given a clear command, take the law of the Lord, which had been given to Moses and was given again the second time, Deuteronomy, teach it to your children. They didn't do it. They turned to the gods of the Canaanites. A pattern in the life of Israel, repeated again and again and again and again, and we all know the terrible, tragic history that resulted. I guess the sum of it is in Judges 21:25. Everyone did what was right in his own eyes. Sound familiar? That's American culture. That's the world we live in. And we are there for the same reason that Israel was there. People of Israel lived in the sea of paganism. They were told what to do to protect themselves, to teach their children. It was a full-time responsibility, and it had to be going on all the time. Not only by precept, but by example. To love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Children are a blessing. Parenting is in itself a blessing. In fact, a family is measured by the parenting. Whatever you do is going to decide what kind of child you have. And parenting is, by God's design, the child's most powerful influence. It is a full-time responsibility. built in at the very start of God's law, and when ignored, tragedy upon tragedy, not only the decline of a family, but the decline of an entire culture.